With your ride's gonna make you some beef someday. You got mud on your face.
I'm Tom McLemore. I've been a high school baseball coach in Farmington, New Mexico for 20 years. My staff and I have developed a series of drills that we feel can be a great benefit to your program. We try to base all the teaching techniques on repetitive activity to create muscle memory. We use dry drills and slow motion to assure the learning process. By doing it over and over, it becomes reactionary. We've based these drills with two key thoughts in mind. First, to develop footwork and technique, including soft hands. We've used ladder drills, step drills, and quick foot drills for years. We still use quick foot drills during the fall. We wanted to integrate drills that are specifically designed to improve fielding. We felt it was necessary to pound the technique into small parts and work toward mastering the entire skill. Our second thought was that by mid-season, our players would go back to their old bad habits. We wanted to continue teaching technique throughout the season. We developed this series of drills to assure us that we would not neglect technique. We use the name Kaizen, which is a Japanese word meaning small incremental parts. The drills we will show you today are used on a daily basis following our stretching program and throwing. The drills are progressive and accomplished simultaneously by each position on the field. We have 40 to 50 kids on the field in their various positions. It takes about 20 minutes to complete the process. You can add or delete specific drills as needed. We often use players to roll, bounce, fungo, or feed pitching machines. This allows the coaches the freedom to move around and instruct. We also use similar techniques for hitting, pitching, and base running drills. The key is to give your players a consistent work routine that they can work on daily and improve their technique. With infielders, we like to begin with a rolled ball. This creates consistency so that they can work on specific technique. We advanced into bounced or fungoed balls to add rhythm and variables. We used the term skateboard to describe the footwork in preparing for throwing. The idea here is to have the fielder advancing toward the target. Sometimes we emphasize like you're jumping on two skateboards. Initially, we try to tell our players to act like they're jumping on a skateboard after they field the ball. This develops good footwork and it places them in an outstanding throwing position. Another way of saying this is taking the right foot and replacing the ground ball that you picked through. Another term that we emphasize, kicking through the ball. This is a term that we say you pick through the short hop and you absorb any ball at knee level or above. We also attempt to get the ball out of the glove immediately. Triangle drills are drills that we use to describe a specific part of a routine. One of the players will act as a first baseman and usually shortened up from 60 to 80 feet from the fielder. You can also use pitchers or extra players as the first baseman. The fungo or roller will create every possible type of ground ball. We can create 3 triangle drills at once with each position throwing toward the first base area. The 2Bs throw to a 1B up the line toward the outfield. You can also allow one of the infield groups to throw the ball all the way to first baseman. We attempt to get a lot of fielding and throwing without wearing arms. Keep in mind that players are in their position area and all drills are occurring simultaneously. The midline refers to a ball that has crossed past the midline of the body. We teach the infielders to simply turn the glove over for any ball in this area. We begin with our infielders paired up in their infield position and receiving a single hand rolled ball. Major emphasis is placed here on hand development. We roll the ball back to the tosser actually by flipping it with the glove. We emphasize showing the palm, getting a good hinge mechanism in the wrist and the elbow. By doing this, we try to emphasize the hand position, fielding in the peak of a fielding triangle, drawing a line between the glove and the 2 feet. We then go into a double hand. The double hand is designed to incorporate good fielding actions and again to emphasize trying to get the ball out of the glove as quickly as possible with that 4-seam grip or cross the seam grip. We emphasize trying to get it out again as quickly into the hand and get it into a throwing position. We then go into a midline where the ball is rolled slightly to the right side and they have to turn the glove over, and from there obviously it puts you into a position where you could jump on the skateboard. We want them to become comfortable with that. We then incorporate the foot action, and the only thing we're doing here is picking a regular ground ball and jumping on the skateboard to place us into a throwing position. Again, we're dealing with grip here and trying to move directly toward the target. This is the beginning of the triangle drills, and what we do with the triangle drill is they go through regular rolled ground balls where they're getting balls that are rolled directly at them. You can use a fungo, you can use machines, or a ball. We then go into 45s. Again, this is a ball slightly to their right. It's a ball that sometimes we can get around, sometimes we can't, but we want them to feel comfortable with picking this ball and reacting to it. Sometimes you're able to get around it and move through it. We would rather emphasize that they do use a 45 because it places you into a better throwing position immediately. We then go into 4 or 5 balls where they will receive backhand plays. And again, with major emphasis on footwork, getting yourself back into a throwing position. Now the beauty of this is sometimes you don't get balls rolled exactly where you want them, but it does give you some control of it. We go into forehand plays, and the forehand plays we try to emphasize balancing ourselves back up and getting back on the skateboard, moving with our chest directly toward the target and making the release. Our dead ball series is the way we start slow rollers. We try to emphasize on this slow roller with the dead ball to pick the ball off your right foot. Now when the ball's rolled, you're going to pick it off with your left foot. This is a single hand pickup, but we want to make them feel comfortable to get their chest square to the target and make the throw. We emphasize with the ball rolled directly at them, we start incorporating the idea of trying to get their hands together, picking the ball over the left foot, and continuously moving, not stopping and throwing off that right foot. Sometimes the ball's not always in the position you want it to be in, and you have to react to it, but we want them to become as comfortable as they can throwing the ball on the run. We advance into where we're throwing these hard. As they develop the footwork and so forth, we'll throw the ball hard directly at them. We create every type of slow roller possible. We throw slow rollers up the middle. We also occasionally we'll take conveyor belts and lay them and fungo down into them where we get a high chopper effect into the middle, and they have to make that play. So we just try to create every possible play that they could get. Another thing that happens here is that you will take situations where occasionally you get a ball that's a slow roller to their right. Very rare play. We think the most important thing here is to take a direct angle at the ball and attempt to get rid of it as quickly as possible. You don't really have time to get around this ball every time, so sometimes you might 45 it, but getting a direct angle toward the ball as quickly as possible is the only way you're going to have an opportunity to make the play. This part is referred to as range drill. Our emphasis is placed on the feet. We want to take off with a good crossover step and a good drive out of there to take off and increase your range. We roll the ball quite a distance, and many times they won't get to it. If they get to it, we expect them to throw it. If they don't get to it, that's fine. But major emphasis, again, is placed on the feet and the footwork and the takeoff in order to give you a good crossover and drive step. We then go to bad hop drill. Now we begin this with them seated, and we'll just roll the ball out. There's a variety of different ways you can do this. Obviously you're going to get balls to your right, to your left. You can roll it behind them. But our major emphasis here is to pick the ball up with both hands whenever possible. It creates a better throwing mechanism and puts you into a better position. You can also take the ball and bounce the ball behind them so that they have to go find it. It's like being blind and trying to find a ball that you actually just booted or whatever, and we want you to get to it, get on the board, pick it up with two hands if we can, and try to get on the board and throw it. Another way is by having them simply stand up and you roll the ball out to their right or to their left or between their legs and have them get on the skateboard, find it, and throw it. This incorporates really good footwork. I think it's one of the better drills. We commonly take fly ball drills, and our idea here is to work on drop steps to where we get them drop stepping toward the baseball and learning to turn and run toward the outfield. We want them to become comfortable running toward the outfield. We create every type of fly ball that we can, balls to their right, balls directly behind them, balls to their left, every type of ball. We commonly do this with machines in a multiple group drill where we have two machines running and our outfielders are working with the infielders at the same time. So major emphasis is placed on that. But we do want them to feel comfortable running backwards and running out toward the outfield. And we absolutely do not allow any backpedaling. Another major point here is we use the off infielder. Our third baseman here is saying the name of the shortstop so that we don't have collisions. Now our third basemen and second basemen and first basemen are basically doing similar drills as you just saw in the shortstop. This is the Kaizen triangle part of the third base drills, and what they're doing is getting their ground balls the same way. They'll get regular ground balls at them. They'll get some balls to the 45. We even throw in, when we're fungoing, a lot of times where we just say mixes, and we'll mix any kind of ground ball we can during a triangle drill. But we do try to go through the repetition of consecutive balls so that they're seeing the technique and working on it consecutively. We go all the way into slow rollers and have them throw across. We usually use a screen as a protective device to stop them from throwing up toward the first baseman. We also take our third basemen and make them as comfortable as we can with the fly ball area in the foul territory. We throw fly balls over toward the wall so that they become familiar with where the wall is, and we also have them get fly balls obviously up in front of them and fly balls over toward the dugout area. We use the double play series 2 to 3 days per week. The middle infielders go to the double play feeds with the short and first baseman, immediately following the midline hand development. The first baseman and third baseman continue regular Kaizen until the middle infielders are done. Then the third baseman line with the second baseman to turn front half of double plays. You can simultaneously run one where you're alternating and have your first baseman combine with the shortstops to turn their double plays also. We begin the double place part of the series with simple dead ball feeds. What we do with dead ball feeds is we lay the ball down in front of them, and we're having them just step up, pick the ball, and get on the skateboard and throw. We also do this with a single knee drop, but we really feel that the variety and for the most part the double plays happen where we're jumping on a skateboard and giving them a feed, just that short step. We start with a dead ball, then we go to balls that are fungoed, and these balls are fungoed directly at them. You can do this a variety of different ways. Now the second basemen are turning the double play up to a shortened first baseman again, so they're only throwing the ball about 50 or 60 feet. We then go into balls that are 45s, where they take a ground ball in a 45 position. If they can get to it and feel the ball on their left side, we allow that, but we're trying to work on a 45. We will mix it some. We'll get some ground balls where they're going straight regular feeds, and then we'll go a 45, and then we'll go a forehand and backhand and mix it up. But again, we're trying to teach the consecutive routine. We then go into balls that are backhanded. We give them 2 or 3 feeds like this, and if it's a ball that you don't need to backhand, we don't tell them to backhand it. We then go into shovel feeds with major emphasis to continue heading toward your target. Show the second baseman the ball, put your glove behind your back, and give him that good feed right up into his chest. There's a variety of different ways to do things, and obviously your technique will be, you know, as you want it in your program, but I think giving them the variety of balls is very important. We then go into unassisted double plays. The unassisted double play it'll catch you in a lot of different directions. Sometimes I don't know that you can teach it left foot or right foot, but the idea is to get yourself with the proper timing and make the release. Our second basemen do very similar to the shortstops. They actually start with a dead ball, and then they go into balls that are rolled toward them. We will do a single knee feed, and then we go on to balls that where we get ground balls directly at them. We'll go right foot open, and we'll also jump. Well, we'll do both methods, so you'll see a variety of different methods here. They'll either just take a right foot open or jump step feed. Then we go balls to their left. Any ball to their left, we teach them that they will hop back on the board. We want to get them square to their target to give that good chest feed. Our important thing here is we always teach that you can't get a double play unless you get the lead out, so beginning feed. We then go balls that are hard to their left. We have to use a spin move on this or reverse, where your body momentum's carrying you out toward right field, and you have to reverse turn and make a pivotal feed toward second base. So we can get a large variety of ground balls. We then give them a shovel feed, and basically this is anything inside a 12-foot circle where we're going to lay the ball up for the shortstop. Again, show him the baseball. Very important. Get the ball out of the glove, show him the baseball, and put your glove behind your back and continue movement. Our third basemen can be working on third base double plays, following that. We commonly take our shortstops on some other individual drills, and our third basemen are working on their double plays with 2Bs. You can alternate this where the first basemen are actually making a double play feed to the shortstops in between every feed. So we give our third baseman a variety of different types of balls and allow him to feed. Our emphasis point here is we like them to get on the skateboard and feed from the top. We don't like them to feed underneath. Now we incorporate our shortstops into a part of this drill where he's getting a forehand play so that they are ready to eliminate the ball from going into left field to stop the runner from going to third. And so we always have them run over there. If it gets through, we want that ball stopped. If it doesn't, then they're headed toward the right direction anyway. So it's a major emphasis for us. You can run a combo drill with a third baseman taking the double play ball, then your shortstop coming in and getting a slow roller. There's a variety of different drills you can do. He can do a double play ball and have your shortstops work on feeding the ball to the plate, like what we call cover two, where they're going to the plate with a ground ball. So you get a variety of different types of balls, and occasionally these balls that you work on end up playing, coming to baseball game, and it's something that you've watched yourself do in practice, and you go, gosh, we've done this before, and somehow it works in games. Well, the reason it works in games is because you have worked at it and spent some time. And it's not always like you draw it up, on paper, but your kids find a way to do it from the consecutive activity. We begin our outfielders with a part that we call jump line. It's an overemphasis of a drop step. We try to get them to imagine that there's a line running between their legs, and we want them to get turned completely on it. So we begin by having them going right and left with that. We then add in to where we're going jump line, go get a fly ball behind you. So we take it where they're working on fly balls to their right and to their left, and incorporating that good footwork and make them comfortable going back to receiving fly balls. That again, we do it from the right side, then we do it from the left, and they will continue to get 3 or 4 of these each. You can do this with a fungo or you can do it thrown. We found a little greater control actually by throwing the ball, and we can really concentrate on their technique of what they're doing by just throwing the ball. You can also use a machine. It works very well with this portion of the drills. We then go into what we call reverse angles or reverse spins, where they actually go back and have to turn around, and we want them to become comfortable in losing the side of the ball. We emphasize we don't like them to back pedal. We like them to get behind the ball and move into the ball. And by doing this, we'll take them and have them run reverse angles from the right side and reverse angles from the left side, so that they become comfortable with that and eventually get to where they're moving back in the ball. We guys trying to have them catch the ball at the peak. We want to catch it up as high as we can and try to catch it moving toward your target. The next thing that happens is we'll take it and we'll just throw fly balls to the right, where we're trying to make a big arc, and we try to really overemphasize the arc and moving back into the target. We take our cutoffs and have our cutoffs about 80 to 90 feet, sometimes 100 feet from these guys, and we'll move the cutoffs around so that they're taking fly balls, ground balls, every kind of ground ball or every type of ball that we can generate out there, and have them throw to various cutoffs. And if they throw it bad over our cutoffs, we make them go get it, which is somewhat a little bit embarrassing for them to have to run up in the infield. So it's a major emphasis for the outfielders to keep the ball down low and throw the ball to the cutoff. We then go into different types of ground balls. This assimilates a ground ball to left side of our right fielder, which he's got a reverse spin on. And we try to teach all of our outfielders that they're going to have to do this. And you can do this with a machine, and you can do it with a fungo, obviously, but in teaching the technique, it works very well. We go into ground balls where they're coming directly at you. We call these run-throughs, and we like to use a fungo really with these, but we always emphasize to run through the ball. We try to run through every ground ball that we can in practice, because we know that these are game winners. These are plays that, if you've worked on it enough and you're familiar enough with grounders and what the ball's like and the surface is like, then you might have an opportunity to make a big play. Then we take ground balls, roll them to their right, and they'll arc around the ball and try to throw the ball again to the cutoff. Same type of situation as prior to, but major emphasis of getting around the ball and moving back toward the target. Same thing with ground balls. And here we've moved our cutoff like he's throwing back toward the plate. He's got a ground ball to his left from center field, and he'll throw back to the plate. One thing we do every day too, we don't do the outfield Kaizen in the same position. One day we'll go to left field, one day we'll go to center field, and one day we'll go to right field. Another ball that they need to become familiar with is that soft line drive that's headed at them. We found best success with this by throwing it or using a machine. And you kind of incorporate, you can throw some balls every once in a while, throw it a little bit harder like they misjudged it, or teach them to, basically learn to catch the ball below their knees, and also it teaches them they'll run into some short hops occasionally. Another drill we do is where a ball's been gone past you, and we try to incorporate them getting to the wall, getting on the skateboard, and getting the ball back into the cutoff as quickly as possible. So we just throw the ball over their head. They've got to go run it down, get past it, pick it up with both hands, skateboard, and throw. We use another drill called the 3-ball drill, where we take, they're paired up and there's a trail man running behind this outfielder, but you'll throw 3 balls. You throw one on a dead run to him, and then another one to him, and then the 3rd ball you want to throw and make him run it down. He just catches the ball and flips it directly behind him. And the idea here is to teach him to run, reach, and catch. And, we do it from the right side, we do it from the left side, we do it all over so that they feel comfortable running and catching. We go to wall drills, and the main idea here is to teach them to become comfortable with the wall. We move them back closer to the wall, have them run back, touch the wall, reach up and catch, and we're throwing to a cutoff still. Sometimes you get some balls you got to go up and get. Sometimes you get some balls that are shorter, and you have to come back onto the field to get them off the warning track. But we try to include them getting as close to the wall so that they know where it is, then get to the ball and catch it. so that they are familiar with the wall. We throw every type of ball possible, balls that come off the wall, balls that go into the wall hard, and then we start using our off outfielder as a part of the drill also. We'll take the guy on the ball, goes all the way to the wall, and the off outfielder's talking to him, and he's taking the carom. So we get two types of caroms. We get the carom that the guy going to the wall can get, and we might get the carom that comes off a little bit harder, so we have that off outfielder there ready to possibly make a play also. But the communication factor is the important thing. Our final drill with the outfielders is we call it sit-downs, and this is in order to teach them a technique to feel confidence and comfortable in sitting down on that soft line drive that's running out there. So we teach them to slide by simply just rolling, having them run up, and we just toss the ball up and they sit down and catch it. Sometimes they catch it palm up, sometimes they catch it palm down, all kinds of different ways, but they get comfortable with it. We teach our catchers a specific routine that they work on daily. Some of the throwing varies according to the condition of arms and space availability. We try to space the throwing and blocking throughout the process so they are not having to throw and block continuously. Again, we attempt to teach by drills, then progress into live activity. We also emphasize technique strongly during batting practice. We allow them to sit on buckets if necessary during BP and bullpens in order to concentrate on framing. There are a lot of drills that you can use. We try to divide these drills so they can do most of them every day and add or delete throughout the season to work on specific needs. We begin our catcher part of this series with dry frames. We emphasize not using to begin with, and we'll let them work. The coach simply calls out, or their partner simply call out where the pitch is, and they respond to it. We then use it with a glove, and we're trying to emphasize that we're going to take the inside pitch, and we're going to work on taking an outside pitch, which is one we try to cut off, and we take a pitch on top, and high pitch we try to cut off, and the low pitch we try to emphasize a high elbow. We also emphasize trying to sway gently with the chin. We talk about having the chin lead to the ball slightly. We go into live frame drills, and their partners will throw them a variety of different types of balls, and they will work on framework and try to create every type of ball that we can for them so that they're concentrating on the framing technique and their glove position. And we usually try to take our time with that so that they can see what they're trying to do and get comfortable with it and make it a reactionary thing. We then go into what we call a rapid fire drill. We're throwing the balls as rapidly as we can behind each other and let them work on framing so it's a quicker response type mechanism. We take this and I mean, they're not thrown real hard, but they're thrown hard enough where he's got to respond to them. There's nothing soft there. And you can see over a period of time that they develop some kind of idea of what you're trying to do frame-wise. We attempt to teach blocking by beginning with what we call dry blocks. We do this out of a 4-point stance. The initial idea is to get them down into a 4-point stance, and we try to concentrate on blocks to the right, blocks to the left, and moving our hips in the correct position and our chest position. So we try to pay special attention to those things where our guard placement, placing guard outside the hands, then the hip action and the chest to incorporate an activity where the ball could be kept bouncing directly off our chest into the area in front of us. One of the blocking drills that we use is called a 3-ball blocking drill, and we use it with emphasis that one person simply points at the ball and the other guy's trying to block that pitch. We then go into dry throwing mechanics, and we try to walk them through what's going to happen as far as the dry throwing. We will take them and have them go slow and look at the footwork, look at the hand position and trying to balance up and getting a good weight transfer, and also ball out of the glove and the hand position ready to throw it also. After we do 3 to 5 of these, generally go into a live throw, and we'll take their partner will feed them, and we'll have another person down there about 100 feet out, depending on what triangle drills. We try to work this around the other drills going on. So we will have them throw 3 to 5 at, at 80 to 100 feet, whatever you're happy with. But that we're again emphasizing footwork. We then go into dry knee picks, where we take them and have them go through a dry activity as far as emphasizing a pick, and we will also use in this, we'll place up extra catchers as hitters and have them throw around the hitter. This really works as well with the left-handed hitter as anything, so we place hitters up there and have them throw with it. And most of the time we throw these all the way to first base. The 1B and 3B throws we try to throw all the way. We then go into dry work to third base. We try to incorporate both techniques where we're throwing, we're a step back move and working to throw to third base, and we also work on throws where we're trying to throw through the hitter to step forward. So we generate both types of pitches, and we go into live 3B picks, and we don't let them throw a whole lot, but we'll let them throw 2 or 3 times. Again, most of the time we put a hitter up there. We just didn't want to block the view here. That's a step forward activity there, or motion where you come forward to throw it. Another point of emphasis to us is the backhand picks. Sometimes, with runners and you get the ball down in the dirt, we found it's a major emphasis to work on picking through a backhand and still being able to throw the ball. So we do a great deal of this and trying to pick it and get into the skateboard position and ready to throw it. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference to go. So we don't have time to block and throw. So in this situation with no one else on, we'll work on that where we are picking and throwing, and again we'll work on this throwing at 80 to 100 feet. Another method is the drop, block, fetch and throw. It might be a ball that just went into the dirt, but we're going to block it first and then throw it. So we work on those, and also ones we have to fetch. We'll also incorporate where we do this to third base. We do it, and also if it's a ball that we don't want to throw, we don't throw it. So the emphasis here is we try to get to the ball and try to make the picks to both bases with balls that we had to retrieve. Another one is a wild pitch, fetch and throw. This is a ball that we'll throw past the catcher and have him run back and become familiar with using the slide technique and feeding the pitcher covering the plate. This is very important. It's important. We generally do it in all directions, although most of our balls go off in the direction that's shown here. We then go into some dry plate blocks. We'll throw the ball in there and get them into a good position a couple feet up the line and on the inside portion of the line, and we try to go through some dry blocks. We'll use the sweep tags and we'll use a punch-out tag. We'll use both types of tags where we're trying to work on that, and then we'll go into some live stuff where we'll throw it to them. We also use fungos with this occasionally. Every once in a while you work on these things. This was in the Connie Mack World Series following summer after we made this video. We also go into force plays, and on the force plays we'll go ahead and feed back to a shortened first baseman usually, but we'll take force plays and we just move the coach or the partners all around the infield, so they take every kind of force play there is from every angle. We then go into bunts from left and right. We emphasize the shovel technique where the ball is picked up with both hands and getting on a skateboard and making a good solid throw. It's very vital to us to move toward the target when we throw. So we try to create every type of bunt play there is, reverse bunt, spins, so that they have to make every type of play possible on bunt plays. We feel like the catcher's as vital as anyone getting on those bunts, so we really try to get on to them about, we're trying to take charge on bunts. On block drills, we use a variety of things, and this is called laterals, and we're going to bounce the ball into the catchers. Obviously, getting the timing down is important, but it teaches them to move and get back up and respond. This one's called Easter eggs, and Easter eggs we simply try to throw the ball down in the dirt, and they're trying to get the ball to drop directly in front of them or right underneath them, and they continue moving forward. This is a pretty good drill to teach balance, and they can really see what type of soft chest they have. Throwing drills that we use, we use the lines a lot of times to have these guys throw down lines, and the idea is there is you can see what type of spin you're getting and what kind of tail you're getting on the ball and that type of thing. We use a no feet where we're just working on the upper chest and rotation, and then we add the feet, and we commonly throw these, you know, up to about 150 feet where they are throwing the ball at some distance. And we found this to be a pretty good arm strengthening thing too. So we have them work on catching the ball and responding. Our first basemen are working on bag work, and they continue doing this. They generally go to following the hand development part of their drills, and they will be working on all type of bag feeds. We take our first basemen over there and just have the feeder, one of the people in their group, just move all around the infield. They can throw it from anywhere they want, and we try to get every type of ball we can. We start out short and throw the ball to them so that we're definitely working on specific types of feeds and throws to them. Then we work into where the thrower goes everywhere and throws at all kinds of different places. We work into a lot of dig plays and try to emphasize with the dig plays, you know, that you know, they get through the ball, and we don't want the ball going past them. We really place a lot of effort into this, and our kids become pretty good at forehand digs, backhand digs, and you know, everything else over there. We have another drill we use. We'll take regular baseballs. Sometimes we'll hit wiffle balls, but we just try to hold runner reactions is what we call it, and we try to have them come off the bag and throw it anywhere we want so that they have to respond to it. And we'll do the same thing with a fungo and hit the ball so that they're having to respond to it. But it's you know, it's a variety of different types of balls that they have to respond to, and it's a play they have to make every once in a while, and when they do, it's a gigantic play. So you know, it's something we do work on. There are a variety of drills that can be added to improve skills. We use these when the majority of the field is occupied by other drills. One of those we call Jerry Rice, and this is simply with your partner throwing the ball any direction he wants, and you just get up as quickly as you can and try to respond to it. It's a great drill to build reactions, and the hand-eye development comes much improved by responding to this, and the response time gets good also. We do a hand reaction drill. We can do this with any of our infielders, all these drills, so they can be doing it at any time, where we just throw the ball anywhere we want, and they're having to react to it. And this is a great little reaction drill. It doesn't take up much space and really helps. We do diver drills off the knees. We'll take them and have them do diver drills, and we try to keep feet separated when we get up, and we try to get up as quickly as we can, get on the skateboard and get ready to throw it. We actually do this sometimes where we throw it. Another one we do is called, we really call this one hot corner, and we designed it specifically for our third baseman. We just take a wiffle ball and stand about 10 feet from him, and I mean drill it. And you know, catch them all obviously, but he learns to respond very quickly, and we found some very good reactions created by our third basemen from using this drill, and using it with all our infielders, but it's specifically designed for the third baseman. Following the typical Kaizen drills that we do, we usually try to get all our infielders together and do what we call multiple group drills. The multiple group drills generally last about 10 minutes to 15 minutes, and they're specialty drills that we try to do where we have all our kids working together and doing some specific things. We wanted to give you a couple examples of these, but the main idea is that you can get a lot of things done in a very short period of time. We begin with a multiple pickoff drill, and the idea here is to have all three pitchers, or if you have 6 pitchers, 10 pitchers, whatever you have, we try to divide them up into groups of no larger than 5 to 6. And we take our pitchers and they work on pickoffs. And they do every pickoff, simply rotate from first to second to third. And our middle infielders and first basemen and third basemen are working with them on this. The beauty in that is they get used to receiving the balls and how they throw it and what it's like. We mix up the picks. We pick for show and dough at first base, what we call it, and we use all the picks that we use at first base, decoys, daylights, every kind of pick, and the same thing up the middle infield. We mix it with the shortstop so that they're doing it and using a daylight pick over there, all kinds of picks. So we try to incorporate every possible pick that we can do, and it takes about 5 minutes at a maximum to do a large number of picks. I mean, we can get, 12 to 15 picks very easily each in that period of time. And the whole idea is they're all just up on the mound and continuously pick and just go, 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 so that we can get a lot of them done. We make them go get the dentley. If they throw it bad, we make them go get it. So it's up to them. Another drill we use is called the multiple rundown. For this drill, you will need 1 first baseman, 1 second baseman, 1 shortstop, 2 third basemen, 3 pitchers, and 1 catcher, and obviously 1 runner between each base. The idea here is to have 3 rundowns going on at one time. The middle pitcher, the one picking towards second base, will pick to the second baseman, and he'll create a rundown between second base and third base. The pitcher on the third base side will pick to a second third baseman, and that third baseman will get a rundown going between he and the catcher. And the other pitcher will pick over at first base and create a rundown between the first baseman and the shortstop. So you have 3 going on at once. The key thought here is that your guy picks second base to start the drill. But it works great. It gives you an opportunity to see a number of picks. I'd like to personally thank all the players and coaches that have made this tape possible. I hope these drills and teaching techniques can help your team become a more consistent defensive team. Good luck to you during the upcoming season.
I make a big noise playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, "We will